A dependable back, stoic nature, unwavering aura, that cool patented hero pose. For the weak and the afraid, the appearance of such a person is a blessing in disguise. But what if that guy, that supposed savior, is just a scared, helpless boy? The anime is Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. The character is the young upcoming warrior, Stark. Welcome to Life is an Anime. Apprentice of Aizen, warrior of the hero party that defeated the Demon King, Stark shows the potential to be a great fighter of his own. But there is one thing that's holding him back. Stark is a coward. That breathtaking introduction, quite the opposite of that. He was so scared that he froze in place, but thankfully, the oversized fire-breathing lizard flew off on a whim. But what if that's a tactical retreat by this dangerous winged reptile? You see, our red warrior friend here is a monster of his own. But despite chopping off that mountain cliff, dividing it into two, Stark is still convinced that there is no way he can defeat that dragon. Thanks to a little encouragement, our warrior found his resolve to face his fear and try his luck. But the thing is, he is still afraid. His hands trembling, even admitting the fact that he is afraid. Frieren was reminded of Aizen, trembling and confessing his cowardice in a heartbeat. Everyone gets afraid. Everyone fears something. It is fine. It is understandable. And especially when it is a dragon that can easily kill you. No one would blame you if you ran away. But the problem is when that fear hinders the thing that you wish to do. Will you let it stop you from doing the things that you must do? Aizen trembled, but still stood up against monsters to protect his friends. Stark was ready to die for the sake of the villagers who admired him as their hero. Being afraid is not a bad thing, but knowing and trusting yourself will help a lot. Stark did not think too highly of himself, even though he is a strong warrior. Strong enough to damage a mountain, strong enough that the dragon feared him. The dragon was wary of him because he is strong. It's funny that he was horrified of the creature that is intimidated of him. It's easy to overestimate ourselves, but it's more common to underestimate our current capabilities. From childhood, he was trained to be a respectable warrior. In a village of fine fighters, his brother being the most promising, yet Stark did not show any signs of greatness. His own father gave up on him, and when the village was attacked, the poor little warrior could not do anything but flee. With that experience, he labeled himself a coward, nothing but a burden, forever weak, and will never amount to anything of worth. Even after training with a renowned warrior, this label that he put on lingered, and thanks to a lack of communication, he interpreted his master's punch as a lecture about his cowardice. But nay, Stark brought fear to even Aizen himself. The Aizen that was part of the group that fought and defeated the Demon King. His punch was proof of his strength, not of his cowardice. Thanks to Frieren and Fern, he broke his shell. Stark was finally forced to try his hand into utilizing his power. And lo behold, he is strong. Stark discovered that he was not just strong enough to stall a fearsome dragon for 30 seconds. He was strong enough to kill the monster that made him despair. For 3 years, he shivered in fear. For a mere 30 seconds, he defeated that fear without even breaking a sweat. But his self-doubt is not entirely his fault. Together with his history as the disgrace of the village, as the failure to his father, as a disappointment to his master. Anyone is bound to fail if they let the people around them dictate who they are, what they can be, and where they will end up. Just keep working on your strengths, on whatever you're working on, because the people around you are not the enemies. The only one you need to surpass is yourself. Your fear, your doubts, your hesitations. That is the dragon. The dragon that will burn, slice, and eat you up if you let him. So tremble and shiver, because that dragon is really scary. But remember,
怖がることは悪いことではない。この恐怖が俺をここまで連れてきたんだ。
so keep going, especially when you're afraid.